We are here at the Old Idaho State Penitentiary, a prison that was functional from 1872 to 1973. It's made up of several buildings surrounded by a 17-foot-high wall. This prison housed over 13,000 inmates over its years of operations. What led to the closure, and why do people believe it's haunted today? These questions, along with so many more, will be answered as we dive deeper into the Old Idaho State Penitentiary. The gallows have some to blame for the haunting of this place.
I definitely felt my stomach drop a little bit as I walked in. When you're walking into a prison, so it could be just that, but it could be also whatever is here.
Many gallows were constructed at the prison. The one that is most popular was the gallows that was constructed in the death row cell block. This was the only gallows constructed inside, and it was the one that was used to execute Raymond Snowden.
I have done some research in the past on stuff that happened here, and the one I guess that comes to mind the most is the death of Snowden, who was known as Idaho's Jack the Ripper.
Snowden murdered Cora Dean on September 23, 1956. This monster for a man was held in a cell in the death row cell block up until October 18, 1957. On this day, Snowden met his end.
He didn't die right away, and he hung for 15 minutes before he was dead.
He was hung a minute after being brought to the gallows, meaning he wasn't even allowed his last words. One of the most haunting feelings you'll get is when you visit Siberia.
You walk in and it's an instant
Inmates found themselves stuck here in complete darkness for sometimes months.
definitely not a place you would want to be by yourself. It's quiet, it's cold, the rooms are small, you can't even fit a bed in there.
Prisoners in Siberia slept on the concrete floor. This caused inmates to go crazy and even commit suicide. The deaths in Siberia are one of the reasons for this facility to feel so haunting.
Definitely the creepiest building I had went into.
One of the other most popular deaths in the prison was of a prisoner named Douglas Van Vlock. Douglas was sentenced to death row and almost met his match at the gallows. 4 hours before the hanging was planned to take place, Douglas plummeted to the bottom floor of the cell block. He died in that cell block from his injuries. You're probably wondering what caused the closure of the Old Idaho State Penitentiary. Such cruel living conditions led to riots. Prisoners burned down the chapel building and hospital. The last riot that caused the closing of the facility was extreme. Prisoners burned down the dining hall. This made officials reevaluate the living conditions of the prison. Instead of rebuilding the burnt down building, they decided that it was better to build a more humane modern prison. This led to the closure of the prison in the year 1973, trapping the souls of the ones who lost their lives here within the cold prison walls.
It's a lot different than your normal, this house is haunted, this house has this that happened at my house. This is something that it's people's livelihood, it's people's lives, and they got forced to be secluded into these small spaces and not have a say as to if something happened. They can't escape what is happening.
I can feel the pain here, and I can feel the torture, and it's interesting and it's a fascinating place to be, but it's also it's also hard. It's hard to take in what the people who had to be here went through.
The stories of the deaths at this prison are hair-raising enough. It makes sense why people go into the place feeling like souls are still there, and why this place feels so haunting. When you visit this old prison, you get the haunting thrill that some enjoy while learning a piece of Idaho history. If you love haunted locations, the Old Idaho State Penitentiary is a must go to on your next trip to Boise, Idaho.